My name is Esteban Andrade, and I've actually scaled my agency to over $200,000 a month. And I own another agency called Remote Latinos that is at $100,000 a month. And I've actually helped our clients to make consistent deals every single month through digital marketing. And we have reported over $30 million in revenue in the last 4.5 years. And I'm gonna tell you how we actually run our sales team. And this one thing, it's probably gonna change your game every single day. As you know, as an entrepreneur, there are 6 steps for you to build a repeatable $100,000 a month plus business, which is you gotta be able to have different methods to lock up deals with your sellers, whether that's wholesaling, innovations, any cash or creative deal, so that you can actually maximize every single marketing spend. The second thing is that you gotta create a predictable client acquisition system to continuously get leads and potential deals for your business. The third thing is to actually have a foundation of technology so that your leads don't fall through the crack and you can actually track them. Then you gotta make sure that you turn your entire business into a repeatable sales system. So you're gonna be able to continuously sell, and you cannot do this if you don't have salespeople, if you don't have closers. Then you automate fulfillment, and then you continuously hire talented people, and those are the 6 steps. But today, I'm gonna tell you how we're going to keep your salespeople happy, motivated, and disciplined forever. So lead, manage, accountability. This is how we do it every single morning. One time, my mentor asked me if I was doing daily huddles or daily meetings with my salespeople. And back in the day, I only used to do 1 weekly meeting with my salespeople. And what this does is that it creates a big disconnect and a huge gap with your sales team members, which ultimately make them not feel attracted to you, the company, and the product at some point. As you know, doing sales can become very repeatable. It can become very monotone, especially if it drains their energy every single day, because they gotta be in sales calls, they gotta close deals, and all of this is actually energy drain. So how do you maintain that energy level of your team every single day? The basic answer is that you actually gotta do it every single day. Not 1 time a week, not 3 times a week, it's every single day. This is where a lot of people have it wrong. They think that because they are onboarding a salesperson or a closer, that this person is gonna be plug and play and forever gonna be happy in your company by closing deals. This is where I actually went wrong. And there's an actual method to actually keep them happy, motivated, you keep them accountable, trained, and managed. And this is done at 9 a.m. in the morning or 8 a.m. in the morning, depending where you are located in the US. And you have to follow the following cadence. In order to go through this meeting, you have to be very prepared about what you're doing. And the matter of fact, in the description, I'm gonna give you a template and how we actually prepare and how we actually follow a process for that specific meeting. And this meeting will make sure that they're motivated, they are trained, and we know where we are in terms of numbers. The preparation for this meeting is crucial. The first thing that you gotta do is you gotta know exactly what you're gonna talk about in this meeting. So you have to have a checklist that tells you what are the topics that you gotta cover. And it's very, very simple if you follow this video. Make sure that you have every single end of the day report of all the salespeople, and you have gone over that the day before. The end of the day report is something they have to fill out the day before in order to keep track of their KPIs, what they're thinking, what they need help with, and everything that has to do with having a pulse with your team members and your sales team. This can easily be done through a jot form or a form that they fill out at the end of the day that you send them automatically through a Slack channel. And you can easily automate this either through Zapier or workflows in the Slack channel, and they fill it out, and then you get that information in another Slack channel that is private for you and the leaders, and you'll receive that information right in there. All the KPIs, how they're feeling, what they need help with, what they did today, especially in a remote setting. The second thing that you gotta have is a full team projections tracking sheet. This is just a tracking sheet where you know exactly how many deals we're gonna aim for that month, how many appointments we're gonna aim for that month, where each salesperson is in terms of closings, each person's closing ratio, and the biggest bottlenecks that each one of the salesperson has to overcome that week that we can actually cover and get better at it as a collaborational team. So this could be just a very simple Google sheet where you have the agenda of your meeting and the projection of every single week that you're gonna go through, because this week is new, this month is new, and you're gonna be able to track everything. For a template, I'm gonna leave a template in the description below. There's key components for this meeting. You gotta go into this meeting either at 8 or 9 a.m. the very first thing in the morning. So you as a manager, you gotta be fired up. Don't think that if you're not fired up, you're not transferring that same energy. This is an energy transfer, right? So you have to be able to be motivated yourself, enthusiastic about starting the day. And you've probably seen a lot of teams actually doing words of affirmation, putting a lot of energy in the very morning, having blasting music in the very morning. But this happens a lot during an office. But what happens during the remote setting? You have to now be prepared to actually share wins. And this is just 5 minutes of you sharing wins, and you start by picking people that should be able to share wins from the day before. If it's in a Monday, they should be able to share wins during the weekend. So if the salespeople had deals the day before, they should be able to go share those wins. And it's very important for them to intentionally go and share their wins with others. Because if there is no wins, it's harder to create that energy and that forward thinking for the day. Because remember that sales is hard. They have to deal with people. They're gonna have to deal with objections and probably a lot of rejections and no deals. And what would happen if your sales team are in a drought? What if they're actually not selling that week? The only thing that is gonna keep them from moving forward is how you handle that meeting. The culture of your sales team actually is gonna be very dependable of this meeting at the very beginning. That's why you have to start with a very positive note. So for example, in our team, everyone is gonna log in and everyone is gonna start sharing wins automatically. Whether they're grateful with life, whether they're grateful with the deal that they did, something that happened good in their weekend, something that happened good with their family and professionally and personally. They have to be sharing both of those things. The second thing is that we have to be able to share the projections of each one of the reps and the projections of the entire team collectively. So we're gonna go over every single rep's projections, and if it's on a Monday, then we're gonna project what's gonna happen that week. If it's beginning of the month, we're gonna project what's gonna happen in that month. And we're gonna put numbers, something tangible, something that you can actually measure and keep people accountable to. So if a rep says, okay, I'm gonna get 3 deals for this week and I'm gonna do everything possible, you're gonna ask them, okay, how's this gonna happen? Well, I have booked appointments this week, but also I'm gonna do follow-up and I'm gonna work extra on Saturday. Okay. And if it comes down to Thursday and they only have 1 deal, you're gonna go and ask them, how are we gonna make it happen? You projected for 3 deals. Well, I'm gonna make sure to use Friday and Saturday to reactivate a few people, go through the new appointments that are scheduled on my calendar, and I'm gonna do everything possible to push for these prospects to actually close and give me the money. So this is a way to actually keep track of things, and it's high levels of accountability that they're gonna put at the very beginning of the week. But you have to do this every single day. If you don't go over projections every single day, they're not gonna be able to measure where they are at that moment. And when they measure it, they're gonna remember that they are at a specific point. If they're behind, then you are covering this in front of everyone, keeping them accountable and keeping the entire team accountable. After sharing wins, you can actually share announcements. So if something happened in the company, or you wanna announce something that is happening in the sales team, or something with a client, you wanna go over some announcement, notifications that everyone should know, go and share that right away. And you shouldn't take more than 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes in order to do so. After going over projections, you should be able to go over KPIs, closing ratios, show ratios, and figure out what's wrong with each one of the reps. By now, by looking at every single end of the day report and end of the week report, you should know where each rep is at. So by listening to their calls as well every single day and being able to track their work, being able to track their follow-up and how they're handling calls, you should know what to cover with each rep during that meeting. Because the third thing that you're gonna do is to actually go through either a training, a role play, or something that enhances their abilities and their skill sets where they're struggling the most. So by now you should have an idea where each rep is struggling with. And you should know the issue based on data. So if your closing ratio is bad, if the show ratio is bad, if there's not a lot of follow-ups going on, there's not a lot of calls going on, the quality of the conversations are not really that great, then you should be able to identify what each rep needs. And this is where we're gonna cover an actual training. And then you should be able to go over the recordings of each rep's sales calls. This is where you're either gonna cover a discovery portion of it, the pre-pitch portion of it, the pitch portion of it, the objections handled portion of it, or you should even do a role play on specific things that you want to cover with those sales reps. So this should take about 15 to 45 minutes in order to give them quality training on specific things where every single one of the sales reps will get value from. So either your setters or your closers will get value from that sales meeting, and you should be able to cover specific things that are going to be tangible for them and they can do right away. And once they take that feedback from you that morning, they should be able to change that in that day or in that week. Make sure that whatever training you do for that day that you choose to do is intentional. So if you're trying to change one specific skill set or one specific behavior of that week, that is way better than trying to do many different things and change way too many different attributions to the sale at the same time. So you gotta be able to work through different role plays, trainings, and go over different calls and review those calls in front of the reps, but they need to be a specific skill set and behavior for that specific week. If you're trying to do everything at the same time, they're probably gonna be confused on what to actually change. And it's better to actually change and improve at a specific segment of a skill set and do that very well that week, as opposed to trying to change everything. And the fourth thing is that by the end of this call, right before the call ends, you should be able to answer any questions that they have. So ask them, what questions do you have? What help do you need? Who should I go and help you with? What type of client do you need help with, so I can also chime in as a manager and actually help you close that person? Or just try to figure out if there's anything that you did not cover for that day. In a remote setting, make sure to always remind them to keep in touch with you, either in Slack, text message, tell you what they're doing every 1 to 2 hours. Make sure that if they have any questions, that they hit you up with any questions. You can always hop on in the middle of the day to help them on something specific that they need help with. Always be there helping them and leading them towards success. This is also part of leading and keeping people accountable. Make sure that you're checking during the day on their sales calls, on their activities, what's happening every single day with their clients, their prospects, the text messages, the follow-up, and you're keeping them accountable. So by the end of the day, you have a report to go through and give them feedback by the end of the day. It's always good to also do a catch-up by the end of the day with each one of the people that need the most help with. And even those people that doesn't seem that they need a lot of help, you should be able to have a pulse on them and just checking on with them at least 2 to 5 minutes. Remember that by the end of the day, you want to have an end of the day report where you can keep track of KPIs, their energy levels, and things to keep them accountable throughout the day. So if you actually want to know what we do in the end of the day report, I'm going to create a specific video where I'm going to show you how our end of the day report looks like, our end of the day report form looks like, and how we actually automate the entire process so we actually get that feedback loop that you need in order to improve your sales team. If you incorporate this morning huddle into your process, I can guarantee you that you're one step ahead to actually automate your sales team and become a better leader. There's this book that actually helped me to become a better leader and taught me the frameworks, how to coach people, how to lead people, and turn them into actual leaders. And this happens a lot in the sales team. So you can do that with your fulfillment team, your client success team. It's called The Extraordinary Coach. I'm gonna leave a link to that book in the comments below. And if you don't know how to hire, who to hire, make sure that you actually also read the book Who, and visit remotelatinos.com. Our company, Hustle Media, also helps you create those systems and processes for you to have a repeatable sales process and a client acquisition system to bring in sellers to your sales team, and eventually you're gonna be able to hire out the sales team in order to get to $100,000 a month. So visit hustlemedia.com and take a look at the school group in the comments below, where we have created an amazing group of REIpreneurs that you can be part of, and it's completely free. So this is a mastermind for REIpreneurs that are gonna take it to the next level and people that are already crushing it in the game. So if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe to my channel below. Give a comment if you wanna know more about the templates or anything that I mentioned in this video. I'll be very open to give it to you and actually create another video for you to do something for yourself. Follow me on Instagram at Estenik, where I post a lot of short form content where I teach you all this stuff every single day, and I'm not tired of it. I'm leaving you the link on the comments and description below. See you in the next video.